It's time to channel your inner Satsui no Hado because we're talking about Street Fighter II, the animated movie, one of the widely considered to be one of the greatest animated films of all time. Does it hold up? We'll talk about it right now.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movie. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's video game movie anatomy.
Let that Street Fighter V soundtrack roll in. Patrick with his finest Hadouken.
Not my finest. I feel like I'm just it's a warm-up Hadouken. You'll get that later.
As the show progresses.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll stand up and...
We'll actually have a full Shoryuken. Be careful not to hit the lights.
I can't promise
That'd be very nice. Welcome to Video Game Movie Anatomy, where we dissect the film adaptations of some of our favorite interactive media. We got the whole squad here tonight. I'm one of your hosts, and it's Mark Donica. You can find me on Twitter at Mark B. Donica. Joining me, as always, we have the one, the only, Mrs. Stacey Shuttleworth.
Hi, guys. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Stacey Shuttles, or all over the web, including Twitter and Instagram at Nerds Doing Stuff.
The hype is real.
Yeah, it is.
I'm very sorry for cutting you off.
That's okay.
Where she's a nerd doing stuff. Also, returning, here comes a new challenger.
It's funny.
Patrick Dees.
Yeah, hello, Japan. I feel like when the music's going on in the background, I feel like one of the two animations in the background of the fight where I'm like bobbing, like waiting for you guys as you're like my two animations when I was watching you guys intro. Hey guys, I'm Patrick Dees. You can find me at P to These. Tweet at me your best Street Fighter II location noise. USSR.
USSR.
That's good.
I have a good finishing noise when you defeat your opponent. Ooh oh ooh oh ooh oh.
Slow free willy over the opponent.
Fun fact that nobody needs to know.
Yep.
I once won a Hadouken contest at Universal City Walk at a Street Fighter 4 event.
Can I get your best?
I can't because I will blow out the microphone. No, seriously, like the dude held it right up to my mouth and I was like, hold on. And I did it. I flippin' love this game series. I love it so much. So we are just about to the year anniversary, which is really weird to call it that, of when we reviewed Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li.
Wow.
We never did that.
No.
I blocked that out.
Well, the only reason I remember that is because at the end of it, I said, one day we'll watch Street Fighter II, the animated movie, and here we are.
And that day has come.
We made it.
It happened. Never let anybody tell you Mark B. Donica is not a man of his word. Here we are.
Dreams come true.
Right.
Here at Video Game Movie Anatomy.
The bar is so low that my dream has come true by watching a fairly passable animated film.
Well, here's the thing. It's God no. This Chun-Li miles above Kristen Kruk's performance. But the reason we're doing Street Fighter II the movie, the reason that we thought to do it, first of all, shout out to Emma Fife, who is a fellow host here. They covered this on Otaku Movie Anatomy, and they actually had the voice of Ryu from the game.
Oh, stop.
In studio.
Oh.
Really cool to meet him. But she was like, why don't you just do Street Fighter 2, the movie? And we were like, yeah, sounds good. Nailed it. Especially because, not to bear the lead, our next episode we're going to be doing Resident Evil, the final chapter.
Yeah.
And we wanted to kind of prep for that with at least a fun time.
Capcom joint. It's still in the vein of like
we're getting our therapy.
Yes, exactly. All right, we're getting ready for that dumpster fire in theaters of all things. We're seeing this. I can't wait. I'm excited to see this with you guys.
Oh, it's gonna be a good time.
We'll talk about it more at the end of the show. Let's start this off with our breakdown. If you're unfamiliar with the Street Fighter franchise, it's how it revolutionized gaming and the fighting game genre and continues to revolutionize to this day. But our movie has a very, very long breakdown. Bison, the ruthless leader of the international terrorist organization Shadow Law, I'll get to it, Street Fighter fans, has been desperately searching for the greatest fighter on the planet for years. He finds it in Ryu, a young wanderer who never stays in one place long enough for Bison to find him. He does, however, get a fix on Ken Masters, an American martial arts champion who studied with Ryu as a child under the same master. Meanwhile, Major Guile of the United States Army is forced to team up with Chun-Li from China in hopes of apprehending Bison and putting a stop to his international ring of crime. That's pretty heavy for a fighting game story.
That may be my favorite just read I've heard you do before, but also like, yes, that sounds incredible. We just reduced to some bullets.
I will say, this is essentially the story of the game.
Oh, totally. Yep.
And in that regard, they nailed that.
Yeah.
Some of the characterizations, a little bit here or there. What was some of your... who's seen this movie before we watched it as a show?
Yeah, I want to hear about what your experience is there, and then also like your experience with the game. I know you're a big fan, but yeah, sorry, go ahead. I interrupted you.
Well, so I've always been really a casual Street Fighter player. I didn't really go into the lore behind it, and I saw bits and pieces of this movie, you know, back when it came out. I don't think I ever watched the whole thing through.
But here we are.
I mean, here we are. I watched
So this
it
is
now.
literally your first full viewing of the film.
Full viewing of the film, and you know, now of course I have a lot more background with Street Fighter.
Sure,
I mean, not nearly as much as you guys, but I do have the basic knowledge now.
It's a little unfortunate how much of the lore I am familiar with.
Yeah?
It took me a while to get over them calling it Shadow Law instead of Shadaloo, but that's okay.
Sure.
We worked through it. Americans were silly back in the early mid-90s.
You just move on. You just keep going. You
get
just
on
keep
with your
throwing
life.
those Hadoukens.
Just every time they say it. But this movie, similarly, I saw it, I watched it in English, and I didn't exactly have the same frame of reference just because I saw it late at night and I was like, oh, this is Street Fighter.
Right.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
But no like plot, no nothing, because so much of my childhood was just sitting in the spare bedroom playing Street Fighter 2 with my brother and trying to beat Bison on hard. He was like, nope, it's easy. You don't get the real ending.
Doing that Shadow Crusher kick over and over, and
over
you're
it.
like throwing your controller. Yeah,
Dude, my controller test moment was my childhood.
I have no doubt. He's impossible on hard. Who did you main? Who was your guy? Who's your go-to character?
Well, if it was to try to beat people on hard, it was DJ because his down heavy kick is so hard to block, and that's like a great cheese move.
Yeah.
But in terms of legit, Street Fighter was the first game where I got relatively good with all of the characters.
Okay.
I learned all of the moves at heart so that when I went to the local pizza joint to play Street Fighter 2 on the arcade, I would be like, whatever, I'll beat you with, I'll take any challenger on.
Did you do the, was it up and start where it would random it?
No, I wouldn't do random. No, but that was Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
But I wouldn't random it, but I would just be like, that was my first sense of like strategy. Oh, if they're picking Dhalsim where they could do the long punches, I should be range, quote unquote, and pick a fireball character. But yeah, I love everybody. I really do.
I was a big Ken guy back in the day. In fact, I have like a lot of fond memories, not only about this movie, but also Street Fighter 2 in the arcades. It's the first time I can go, it's a very special moment in my life. It's the very first time I remember actively smack talking. I thought this was incredibly clever, which has become a big part of my personality, as viewers of the show might know. I remember thinking I was incredibly clever when I would do the Ken throw. Do you know where he grabs the gi and he rolls backwards and throws it? I would yell in the arcade, "Take a ride on the Ken coaster!" And Little Magic would just shit talk that over and over. It was my favorite thing.
Take a ride. I'm taking that now.
As you should. It's so fun to say. Even if you lose, if you get that in, it doesn't matter. You feel good about losing the quarter. You took a ride on the Ken coaster.
You throw your opponent off.
Yeah.
Throw them off their game.
Totally rattled.
So we get there's some plot to talk about. There's just going to be a lot of remembering fond Street Fighter memories because we have talked a lot about the franchise so much in our last kind of secret episode that may or may not be privated now.
Sure.
It's not, but we wish it was. Let's give our speed runs. The speed run is where we give a basic, supposed to be a quick review. It's like a box quote that you would see on the back of a box at your local game store. For example, Mortal Kombat has a cheesy script but nails the spirit of the game. Something like that. Now, I will admit, I'm usually the last to admit when mine are long. Mine is a little bit longer. Mine's a sentence or two.
Welcome to this team.
Yeah, welcome to the ball drop. Where's the ball?
Civil disobedience. We basically just said, I know what the rules of the game are, and that's not what we're playing.
Somebody
we're doing
drop
the
the ball.
dissertation on whatever film we're talking about.
We have a lot of things to talk
I
about.
know.
Who would like to go first?
Say. I want Stacey to go first. Yes.
Okay, you might be disappointed. Mine's actually pretty
Is it?
short
All right.
and to the point.
Okay, leave me high and dry here.
Disappointed.
The single long-winded
I know.
human being on this panel.
Today, apparently.
Okay,
I'm sorry. All right. All right, so it's welcome to the world of you look strong, let's fight. And we'll have your inner 90s kids squealing with joy.
That's perfect. That's absolutely perfect.
You followed the rules and crushed it. You
Nailed
look
it.
strong, let's fight I want that the game. want that game. I would play
It's
that game.
called Street Fighter.
I'm just saying. But I want it to be titled that. I want that to be the taunt.
You look tough, let's fight.
You look tough, let's fight. Just badly mouthed lip sync.
I just feel like that's essentially what they're all yelling at each other most of the time.
I think the T-Hawk scene, especially with Ken Masters, was like, dog, you look fight, let's throw.
I actually think that's the point where I wrote that down.
Genius. I think, and I would watch it based on that.
I have many problems with that scene.
Do you?
Yeah, one of them being is how disrespectful they were to the T-Hawk character. And for those of you who are listening on iTunes, I have my eyes closed because I know how sad this sounds. T-Hawk is a completely different type of character than, hey, we're going to be in the tournament, let's fight. He's a Native American.
Right.
And he's sort of the atypical, his land was taken by Shadaloo, and he's trying to fight for the freedom of his people.
Sure.
As opposed to, hey, you look tough, let's fight.
This is what we got here.
Yeah. Patrick,
Weirdly in Seattle, of all places. I was like,
Sure.
Alice in Chains was playing. They needed to figure out how to work into Seattle. Okay,
Yeah.
my speed-ish run.
Speed-ish.
Street Fighter II, the animated movie, stands the test of time and has proved out to be incredibly loyal to the source material as it perfectly understands the spirit of the game and gives fans exactly what they want. The fights are fast, and well choreographed. They're exciting. However, it remains as shallow as it is stylish. Yet, in its precise focus, it's incredibly effective at inspiring the viewer to want to play the video game on which it's based. It made me want to play Street Fighter in a way that I haven't I skipped 5. I loved 4, but it's been a
5
long
is
time
good.
since I've come back.
5 is good.
Is it? Okay,
Yeah.
I think there are all kinds of problems.
It had a bad launch.
Okay.
It's great.
I've heard mechanically it's really solid, but it's everything outside of that. All of
that stuff is gone.
monetization is kind of gross.
It's gone.
Okay.
I mean, now if it had launched now, all of that stuff would have been gone. They just wanted to be up for Evo season.
Yep.
And now that essentially they filled out the rest of the roster, the story mode is more fleshed out, and now they're on their first season of characters that you're actually paying for.
Okay.
Like a normal fighting game, but like Guile's free, Alex is free. A whole bunch of characters from various titles are free. Highly recommended. I was so upset. I finished this movie, and I put in my copy of Street Fighter V, and my controllers weren't syncing for some reason, and I didn't get a chance to play, and I'm jonesing. So. Oh boy!
But it made me want to play it, like from the jump, right? That Ryu Sagat fight at the very beginning. I'm like, let's do this. I just want to play.
No.
When we get into our controller toss moments, that's the start of the game. Ryu in the lightning.
I know.
It's the coolest
I agree.
thing.
I was like, yes,
the coolest
perfect
thing.
fan service. This film. Mark, what do you got?
For my speed run, Street Fighter II, the movie, holds the honor of being arguably the most loved video game movie adaptation of all time, with good reason. It acts as the cinematic for a stuffed to the brim fighting game classic that is still getting remade to this day. Shout out to the Nintendo Switch press conference where they announced Ultra Street Fighter II, which
The
is
last challenger?
supposedly
Like, what?
the last version of the game that's being remade. You can play it in classic 16-bit mode or in the HD style that they've been releasing it. This is the cinematic. You pull the different storylines apart. I mean, DJ just gets a club, I guess. Blanca is just a savage. Zangief is just a dude at Las Vegas wrestling. Why not?
I have been to Las Vegas, and that scene did not surprise. The most plausible scene in that film was like, oh yeah, weird shit happens in Vegas, but checks
Sounds
out.
about right.
Yep.
Just call it the new Cirque.
Yep, sure.
You're good.
Totally.
Selling tickets left and right.
Some weird horses. Yes.
Let's talk about our controller toss moments. It's that moment when you're watching the film and you silently or loudly have a "you've got to be kidding me" and you throw your controller across the room. Don't do that with your Nintendo Switch. You'll probably have to pay a lot more extra money to repair it. So we usually do it in a negative way. I had a lot of positive ones in this, but there definitely was a negative in my book. But it kept getting overturned, and it's the casual sexism against Chun-Li.
Thank you.
Where it's just like, don't let me run over your cute little butt, or like whatever that guy was throwing in. Then all of a sudden it's like his daughter, and then she literally spin kicks through those stereotypes and perceptions. In her little fight with Guile, and 100% in her fight with Vega, despite all of the fan service.
Yeah.
It's gross, and it just didn't stop. And it's funny how just I know we were much younger when we first consumed this, so maybe some of that we just glossed over. But like, that is absolutely my controller toss moment. I've got several other ones, but I think the grossest was when M. Bison, when they're doing the little dossier and they've got the computer analysis. And what's his language? He says, "Speaking of interesting, the cursor hovers over her crotch
For way
too long,
and it kept going up and
Speaking
down.
of interesting, and I'm like, wow,
really?
all right. Okay,
This is what's happening right now on screen.
and I thought for a second it would be inadvertent, but it just
No.
definitely, it was a conscious. Somebody made a choice.
It was absolutely on purpose.
And I'm like, and it was a slow lob with the controller. I'm just like, come on.
But yeah, this is rough.
That was,
Did you have other negative ones?
That ultimately, the sorry, Ryu. I have a Ryu amiibo. Shut up. Ultimately, I think how Chun-Li's character was handled stayed true to who she is and who she has been. It didn't take away from her ability to be an Interpol agent. She didn't fall into the well, I'm still cute. She was still like, I'm gonna kick everybody's ass.
Totally.
Which one of my other controller test moments was a positive one. She throws a fucking couch at Vega.
Yep.
fantastic.
Yep. Best fight of the whole film.
That's not an
It's not even
IKEA
close.
couch.
She fucking hucks it. It's so good.
And it's surprising. Oh shit! Like he knows 100%. I'm about to die.
Yeah.
But yeah, ultimately, like Chun-Li, I think saves how everybody else perceives her character by staying true to that character.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But what did you have, Stacey?
Well, as far as negative, I mean, again, it has to do with Chun-Li, the obligatory and overly gratuitous shower scene, which.
I was going to ask about that. Which version did you all see?
I got the shower,
Everything?
the showerific version is what it's called, right on YouTube. Just showerific plus. No, I got the R-rated. They swear, and that shower scene goes on far too long.
Way too long.
Far too long. I mean, not that it needed to be there at the beginning, like, from the jump, but like, yeah,
You get a little glimpse of it, we fade away, come back.
But in the gratuitous upskirts, that entire scene, like she couldn't just be badass in and of herself. It's all these weird angles. That's my problem with it. It is the best fight in the film, as far as I'm concerned, but the angles that they chose, again. She just got out of the shower. I feel like we need to,
Dude,
you needed to remember that.
That's true. Good point.
She was a boss with her braids, though.
I agree.
Because it was just done, rolled up, and we're ready. What was that noise?
Can I have that skill? Because I guarantee I could not. do that.
We'll get to stuff like that later in the show. But yeah, best show of the or best fight of the entire movie.
100%.
But agreed. The shower scene, super gratuitous. And this is a really weird. I never thought I would say something like this. I remembered, but don't remember chest.
Me neither. No, totally. I must have never seen this version before because also the language took me back a couple. I mean, it was fine, and I actually appreciated they were going for something a little grittier, so the language was fine. But I was like, whoa, all right, we're just f-bombing. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and that's the thing. There have been so many re-releases of this. The VHS copy that I used to see on Blockbuster all the time was usually it was the first American cut, so it was very clean. Well, not animation-wise, but it was very clean language and content-wise. And I think there have been, like, without a sense of joking, 6 to 8 re-releases, including one as early as last year.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, as recent as last year, which I think is now like the final Blu-ray Ultimate Edition, which included this cut.
Yeah.
Was there any other positive controller tosses that y'all had?
I had a couple quick negative ones, not too long. It just kind of like, come on. It was going back to Vegas, which again I said nothing surprised me. I'm going to double back on that and say, well, this surprised me. When Balrog's on the phone talking to, I believe, M. Bison, and he explains that he is at the corruption convention. And
I'm at the corruption convention.
And I was like, wait, I'm sorry, what? Like, they just have a website? Like, I want to register for this? I thought that was incredible.
People coming in costume? Like what?
I don't know.
Hope so. This is what I expect now.
And I couldn't, for the life of me, get over some of the localization. The voice paired to E Honda made almost less than no sense. I was like, I can't. I just
see now. E Honda's an interesting character because he is not Japanese. He is American who has gone over to Japan to become the world's greatest sumo wrestler.
Makes more sense then.
But in the movie there is a line: "Us fellow Japanese guys gotta stick together."
Right. Yep.
Come on, and he is a guy who amongst all of the fighters is that. hey, you look strong, let's fight.
Yeah.
Because he wants to show that sumo is
yeah.
the best style to be the greatest fighter of all time. So him,
fact, right?
but why did he fight? It seems weird that a sumo, a guy who has to consume so much in order to keep his frame for his style of fighting, went to a dingy little village in India where everybody's probably like, you weigh as much as all of the children in this village.
Our whole village.
Oh, yeah.
And Dustin was just like, power. I sense a like if they'd gone more into the yogi that he is,
Yes.
would have been pretty interesting.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh boy.
Agreed.
Did you have any more, Stacey? That's
No,
funny.
well, no. Most of my borderline controller toss have to do with quotes, so I'll save.
Sweet.
those
All right.
for
I'm
those
excited to
guys.
get there. So this movie does, I think, the best job in not straying too. Oh, did you have another one, Patrick?
No. I'm just agreeing.
And not straying too far from the source material. This is the source material that everybody pulled that were fans of Street Fighter. They went off of this movie. They went off of the Future Comics. They made a movie for Alpha. They keep releasing movies for each additional game. I remember in the special edition of Street Fighter 4, it came with I wouldn't necessarily count it as a movie, but it's like 45 minutes. It's like an hour special. That
Okay.
was pretty good.
All right.
So anime and Street Fighter go hand in hand.
Sure. And this movie does a really good job. I feel like anytime you adapt a fighting game to film, you have this problem of like, how do I manage all of these characters and the introductions? This movie does a really good job, to its credit, of pacing through them, introducing them, and then really focusing on the 5 or whatever, as opposed to, so everybody gets their own little fan service moment. We talked about Blanca and Zangief or whatever, but I feel like they focused on a few and did so successfully. I didn't feel like anybody got glossed over.
Everybody got their moment.
Yeah.
What were some of your favorite takeaways? What were some of the moments in here where you just went, that's Street Fighter? They nailed that.
She looks so pensive.
I know.
So I think, and we keep coming back to this Chun-Li fight because I had forgotten how. So the choreography in this film is pretty excellent. I really liked the Chun-Li fight because it wasn't just an awesome fight. She was waiting for Guile. She saved herself, which I thought was badass, right? She'd already, which was great.
Threw him out of her apartment.
Out the window. But I really liked what a psychopath Vega was, right? Like when the blood's coming down his claw, and he says something along the lines of like, "My pet is thirsty. I want to skin the rabbits." It was twisted in a way that like you always kind of read into, these guys are really like, that dude's a weirdo. And I thought they went darker and nailed it more than I was like, all right, this is really messed up. And it was an additive property for when I played Street Fighter in the future for me. Like I thought it was pretty good. Was there a moment like that for you?
I mean, going off Vega, I did like Vega a lot too.
He was great.
He was, especially at the end. My face. Just
My beautiful face. When she stomped his face and twisted,
Oh, no,
I know.
perfect.
It was great.
Perfect.
It was so good. And I really, we talked about it a little bit, but I really, really dug, I mean, to really fanboy out a little bit. I got a little bit of the chills, like, again, because it's been a long time since I've seen it, but like the lightning and the Sagat fight at the very beginning with Ryo, and he runs, and the just that guttural scream when Sagat's running at him. I go back and forth. Do you go Sagat or Sagat?
Sagat.
Sagat. When Sagat's running at him and he's like, it was awesome. It was so good. It was just so Street Fighter.
Like that's a moment when it comes to game fiction that ultimately put Ryu on notice from Shuttleworth.
Yeah.
Because he scars Sagat's chest with that huge uppercut. Like, even seeing, I imagine opening with a shot like that for an American fan, seeing just all that blood.
Yeah.
He ripped open his chest with an uppercut.
Yep.
With a glove, like not even like with a claw like Vega,
Right.
But straight up, that's the power of the Shoryuken. God, I feel white, but so much. Somebody, Sylvain Bilodeau in chat is saying that Vic Mignogna, I can never say his name right, was the voice actor for Vega.
And he crushed it.
Supposedly.
He was such a twisted weirdo in like the best possible way.
Yeah.
He was incredible. So I was glad we got to look at him. Less so with Balrog. I think the more he talked, the less I was interested.
Did anybody get the animation mess up with Balrog?
I'm sorry, what?
No?
No. I saw some animation mess ups. I didn't see the Balrog one.
Okay.
Please break this down.
When E Honda, near the end of the movie, when Shadaloo makes their move onto Ryu and they show Ken, whose mind is messed up.
Yes.
And E Honda rolls into Balrog.
Yes.
And he's like, "Who are you?" And so It's so bad. His eyes are off.
Okay.
Like one eye is here and one eye is here, and he's like, "Your worst nightmare." It's just like, okay, that's
I really did
it's
notice that. And I was
two
wondering.
dots on two black dots on two white balls. You can fix that. It was only 4 seconds.
Right.
It was awful. It's
Okay.
the worst.
I did notice that, and I was like, is that supposed to be? Okay.
I can't believe I missed that. I'm so bummed out. I feel like I would have paused it and tweeted at you guys.
No.
I did notice when Ryu like jump kicks a dude through the windshield, which is pretty badass.
That's baller.
Straight up knocks all that guy's teeth in. 2 seconds later, all his teeth driving away. I don't know.
Oh, you know? So you noticed that?
Yeah, even faster than Chun-Li putting the buns up was his dental work, and he's out. So maybe there's some benefits. Maybe that's
nice.
why E Honda was visiting. He was just there for the dental work, and it was a plus that he got to fight Dawson.
Yeah, it's cheap. Cheap dental
and that's
work.
what everybody never do
Okay.
cheap discount dental work or bungee jumping. Those are the two. Don't do either of those things.
I
Spend
feel like
on
that's
those.
solid advice.
That's one. I've got it tattooed right down the. No.
I can't find it.
I loved E Honda so much in this film. I
Pretty fun.
he blew me away. I think most of my favorite lines were actually from E Honda in this film. Because like when he runs into Balrog, he says something really stupid like "Who are you?" or like what does he say? Do you remember that?
I
line?
forget. Also, really quickly, that's the.
Oh, that's real
Yeah.
good.
That's real. That's 100%
That's right.
real. Folks at home who are watching live or listening, just look up Balrog Street Fighter 2 error. It's the worst.
It looks
it's
like
absolutely terrible.
He's been hit before he starts talking, right? He's on his way out.
Well, I was
Yeah,
like,
little
okay,
Mario's counting him
mean-
down in Punch Out. He's like, "Mwah, mwah, mwah." He's out.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's-
M. Bison's Punch Out.
And yeah. Man, Mr. Dream will always be Mike Tyson.
Yeah, there's none of that.
Yep.
There was so much fun to be had. I wish we got more of. Dalsum. Dalsum's always been one of my favorites, and his story continues to be really interesting in all of the game lore.
He didn't work in this film.
No, because they didn't go into it enough.
No.
All of a sudden he was just a mystic.
Throw in the fight, didn't care.
And
Where's this other energy?
But it was weird that like you're trying to if you think about it, both he and M. Bison have the ability to teleport in the game,
Yeah.
and they use it in the movie for both of them as well, which
Sure.
I think was a little. Why would you show a good guy doing it when you show an evil guy doing it? That implies that Dalsum may not be a good guy, but like he's just fighting to raise money so that he can build a well for his village.
Sure.
Like he's one of the nicest good guys. But a lot of characters again don't have enough time. I wish we got to see DJ fight as opposed to just like, oh, this is my club with my music.
My club.
But just because his name is DJ, spelled Deejay,
Yes, yes.
not just DJ,
No.
doesn't mean he has to have a club or spin music. He's Billy Blanks. He is essentially Billy Blanks.
It's 100%. Tybo, famous creator of Tybo.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's based off of Billy Blanks.
Yeah, and he's perfect. Although, what was it? So his line about when she spin kicks the android's head off.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
Because that's one of my favorite lines.
Perfect. Awesome. I'm so glad.
He said
I
it
am
so perfectly.
glad.
I think that one of the biggest influencers to get mainstream media, because anime was still sort of, or Japanime was still sort of coming in
Sure.
from the East, and not a lot of people knew how to handle it, but this was a really big franchise and it was huge in America. The soundtrack to this movie, huge, was probably it was really weird seeing Ryu go to fight a truck and then Korn's blind.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just blasts us into the credits.
Yeah.
Other highlights, Allison Chains' Them Bones. Crazy.
It was great.
Just
It
playing
was-
on the radio.
It was great.
Silverchair's Israel's Son in the
Yes.
Nursery's Hallucinations, the Dream World mix. Black Note's Evil Dancer, KMFDM. Some classic 90s
The
stuff,
Chun-Li
dude.
fight, right?
That was Ultra. And then Smokin' Sucka's Wit Logic, because I'm like that. And then Intermix's Mantra. But KMFDM, like, they had a track on both Mortal Kombat soundtracks.
Okay.
And so, like, that has always been, like, the fighting soundtrack
Yeah.
to me is KMFDM.
And it made that scene so dark.
Yeah.
Like it was, twisted.
I mean, if it wasn't dark and twisted already.
Right. I mean, I agree, but like it definitely added to that. I love Ken. Like, He's proposing to his girl in the middle, like,
We'll get to-
yeah.
I'm sorry,
We'll-
I'm always jumping the gun.
We'll get to that.
She wanted to take a ride on the candy coaster. I'm just saying.
So happy that came back. So there isn't a lot, because this was essentially just a home release. We don't have a lot of box office information
Sure.
from it. It was released straight to video in the United States, which was in 1996, compared to the Japanese release, which was August 8th, 1994. It has an IMDb score of 7.3 out of 10 and an audience score from Rotten Tomatoes of 78%, because there is no press, there were no reviews.
Right.
I had to really go and find some reviews, and they were all positive. The one negative one that I found didn't have any text to it. The page was gone. So he probably was disavowed and not allowed to review things
Internet
anymore.
just shut him down.
Felix Gonzalez from DVD Review says, although this won't challenge your intelligence, this film stands head and shoulders above the live-action Jean-Claude Van Damme fiasco.
That checks out.
Oh, agreed.
Shoulders, chest, legs, toes.
Yeah.
Heads, shoulders, knees, and toes. I actually found this from Kotaku Richard Eisenbeis. Nearly 20 years after its release, Street Fighter II, the animated movie, is still the best fighting game movie I have ever seen. I mean, I might argue with you about Mortal Kombat, but this one ultimately, I think, has more for a bigger audience.
The fan service is even a little bit better because they can play with. It feels more fighting gamey, even more than Mortal Kombat, because they can do so much more with the special moves and the spin kicks, and Chun-Li can pick up a couch. It was awesome. It was awesome.
She can throw a couch.
Oh, yeah, not
Like
just
a
pick up a
boss.
couch.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Shuck that
That's a
across
good point.
the
She's
room.
not like doing the strongman where she barely gets it up and then puts it back down. You're right.
No, or
just
she like
put it in.
She just sort of flips it at him.
No.
No,
over
no.
her bloody head and just
Flying.
I believe the technical term is hucks it.
Yeah, she
She
hucked it.
hucked it.
I mean, I tried that
She
out.
didn't
I liked
throw
it. It had
it,
a good
she
mouthfeel.
Hucked it. All right,
couch
so
was hucked.
we've got a lot of fun stuff. So let's have some fun. Let's spend some time on it. This movie is amazing. If you haven't seen it, go see it. Let's talk about our favorite lines.
Oh, yeah.
I have 3.
Okay.
How many does everybody else have?
I had 2 or 3. I'm sure there will be some overlap.
Yeah.
There will be some
Guarantee it.
overlap.
Yeah.
Okay, for instance, DJ.
Okay.
I'll be a son of a bitch. What the hell is that? Tin Man on steroids? I
Yep.
love that line because it's like, yeah, that makes sense.
DJ, are you in the room? That was so good.
I imagined it. I imagined it.
Very good. Very good.
Actually, really quickly, before we go too far into it, in chat, Ren Einsburn says that the truck was their controller toss moment.
Oh,
which I
okay.
don't blame them.
Yeah.
It's like,
Fair.
and why isn't Bison driving a truck?
I don't know. That's
Yes!
questions.
Yes!
pretty fair. That's
Although
yes.
we did get this great image of him behind the seat of a truck. I mean, behind the wheel
And so
there,
I'm
which was
driving
really
the bus.
great.
I want to see the
So
lead up to that
ridiculous.
where he's like looking on his GPS, where's Ryu? And he drives by a kid who's like,
Take it back a step further. He's at the DMV. He's going through, and he's talking about using his cycle powers. And the guy's like, "That doesn't count on the test,
Yeah.
Bison. I'm sorry.
yeah, you
have
got
to come back.
15 wrong.
15.
14 is minimum, so you're going to have
you
to
need to come back in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So,
that's,
so how many times
it's
do you have to
California.
take this test?
It's, but I have cycle powers. I'm sorry.
Just doesn't matter.
Bison.
It's like that one episode of Fantastic Four the cartoon back in like the 60s where Magneto had a car and he went to, but it didn't have gas or anything. It was metal, so he just made it float and drive. And he shows up at a gas station and says, "Hey, parks," and it's like, "I need directions to New York City." And the guy's like, "Oh yeah, you want me to fill you up?" "No, you idiot!" And then he just rolls away. It's one of the greatest things ever. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about our favorite
Yes.
lines from Street Fighter II, the animated movie.
yeah.
Stacey, what was one of yours?
Okay, so this was a conversation with Ken when he first gets attacked into
Okay,
a big
perfect.
fight. Yeah, and he's like, "I won't take part in a street fight." I said, "Got it?" And so he's up against T-Hawk at this point, and he turns back and you can tell there's just an epic speech brewing about it. And he starts going, "It does not matter where a battle is waged. Oh, please!" And Ken just cuts him off. It's like, no, not having any
Classic
of that.
Ken.
It's amazing.
You know
Love
what?
that.
There probably was I haven't watched the Japanese version, but there probably is something from T-Hawk that's a little bit more true to his character. And they're like, we got to cut a couple minutes.
Yeah,
Let's just
I-
cut this
No,
T-Hawk
bye.
scene.
Let's chalk it up to
We
localization.
need more shots of Chun-Li's butt. Let's cut this T-Hawk scene.
We're
That's true.
expanding the shower scene,
Yes.
and we're gonna
What's-
take away the.
What's that? You need more shower? Green light it. Go.
Awesome.
Got it.
Thanks, Capcom. Patrick, what's one of yours?
Edmund Honda says when they're all together and like Guile shows up and then Bison shows up kind of for the final scene. Honda says, "We finally have visitors drop in and look at me. I'm just a mess."
No, there was one who was just like, will you hurry up and kill us before I kill myself?
Yeah,
That was my next one.
also on my list.
So do it better than I did.
It's, oh God, I can't take it. I gotta kill this nut before I kill myself.
So good.
He's amazing.
He's a wonderful human being.
Phenomenal.
Mine, Patrick mentioned it also earlier in the show, was marry me. I don't know, Ken. Whatever.
Okay.
But like treated like classic '90s sadgasm. He's just like who turns up the like Alice in Chains a little bit louder and just. I gotta feel, I mean, who says no to that kind of proposal though? You telling me?
But also, it's not like, but darling, we've been through so much, and you've supported me on my
No.
No, yeah.
I even wrote it WHUDDEVVER. Whatever.
But who says no to that kind of proposal? You're just top down, you're in the Porsche. Babe, you would have said yes. I yelled yes at the screen. I'm like, I'll marry you, Ken Masters.
Babe,
And she said
but
no.
babe, I thought you loved Alice in Chains.
Yes.
This is the most romantic song I could think of. While we're narrowly avoiding traffic all over the place.
I like how it's no, and then he has a flashback, and she was like, maybe I should have said yes. Which implies,
yeah.
I said no, you're gonna kill us.
We don't flashback
Yes,
moments,
yes,
by
Ken,
the way.
yes. Don't hit the car, yes. Whatever you want, yes.
Sorry, Han, I was just
Yes.
thinking about Ryu. And all
Oh,
the
you
awesome...
won't marry me?
We have
Fine, I'm gonna think
unfinished
about
business for you.
What?
You kind of didn't. You said goodbye and like shook hands. I don't know. Ugh.
What? I have one more.
I got two more from M. Bison. I'll go with this one that says, M. Bison's talking to their kind of whole group, and he's talking about Ryu, and he goes, "Any man strong enough to beat the crap out of Sagat is a man I want found." Sagat's in the room. Like, just, hey,
No, dude,
thanks,
he's-
boss. I'm like right here, dog.
Sagat is like Starscream to Megatron. He shits all over him.
So emasculated.
Yeah.
He's just like, fucking
terrible.
beat the shit out of that dude.
Sagat's the
I need-
Dark King of Muay Thai.
And just like, he's like, hey, boss, I'm in the room. Like, you might just let me leave first before you go. Yeah, it's so
At
like,
least send me away.
so like, I don't know.
Like
I felt
kindness.
bad for him. Just
Just like, hey, yeah, we're gonna have a quick meeting. Scott, can you go get us some coffee? Dude, that guy sucks.
that guy. Oh, who's Scott? He does suck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So bad. I have one more from M. Bison, and then Stacey, you should definitely go. He, this is fantastic. This is the last confrontation. Guile's running up, they're ready to throw. And Bison tells him, kind of lectures him, real condescendingly. He goes, "You know, Guile, evil is a good career choice. It has a lot to offer." What? It's a career choice. Hey,
have
guidance
corruption
counselor, what should I
conventions.
be? I'm good at math and I'm pretty good at like the arts. You should get into evil. Just go
Evil's-
get into evil.
The mid-90s, evil's pretty lucrative.
Yeah.
It's got a lot to offer.
business.
Good career choice.
They got a lot of internships with evil.
How much do those internships pay?
Every villain is lemons.
Had I had that chance in high school? Man!
Growing up in a small town,
Missed
nobody even
my
told me evil
calling.
was a choice.
Nobody even told me I could evil.
God.
I can't
A P-
evil. Stacey, what's another one of yours?
So this one probably has a little more to do with like the line delivery and just the way the scene played out, but it was when Vega first shows up. And you start suddenly going, "Oh God, Vega!" And she just sounds almost exasperated, like, "Oh my God,
Dude,
this guy
not like,
again."
"What are you doing
Not
in my
like
house?"
terrified.
No, dude, it conveyed
Weirdo.
No, it conveyed all of that. It was
did.
I just got out of the shower. I'm essentially in my underwear, and this creep shows
Yeah.
up.
She's like, "I am not equipped to handle this right
It's like
now."
turn lemons into rocks.
I showered, a walking Amber Alert is in my house. What is going on?
And it's
Completely
like,
over it.
Chun-Li, what's going on? I'll be right there. Be safe, kid. Like, when did that
Yeah.
relationship
Don't-
switch flip?
don't
Where he's
know.
like, I care so much about you.
I
They
don't
seem
know.
to have a pretty like close relationship for
Well, they-
especially for our description too. Is like they're forced to work together and stuff like that. And
Like,
it's
the
Pivots to father-daughtery toward the end.
Really
of it.
Yeah,
quick.
really
It's
fast.
gross.
Really quick. And this is my favorite line. Well, it's a line and an action where Chun-Li's in the hospital.
Okay.
Chun-Li's in the hospital, and Guile's talking to her just like, "I'll get it." And what he says is, "I'll get revenge for this," and he
Close up
totally
on
like.
the muscles.
I wish, dude, if we had the American flag
I
tattoo
would
on
be
it,
rocking
even
right
more
now.
just like,
I know.
like, dude,
Ready for that.
chill. Flipping, like, grabs her by the hand, is like, honey. It's like, no.
No.
Step back, sir.
Just
Like the nurse comes in, is like, Who are you? What are you doing here?
Yeah.
We had the bicep alert go off. We saw you flex. Several cuts of like, bow, 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 just several angles of it, pop, pop.
What you didn't see was if from the shot from the door where you saw the window where a bald eagle flying a jet flew right by.
I heard about that.
Yeah,
It's a director's commentary.
Yeah, that was in last year's release.
Oh, gotcha.
Another thing that got cut for shower scene.
Absolutely. His whole lead up when he's in the bathroom and he's practicing. He's like,
No,
no,
dude.
not good
Oh, yeah.
enough. No, I got not good enough. Left arm, maybe? He's over and
yeah.
over again. Cut shower scene, too?
Yeah, all cut for the shower scene. We missed out on a lot of really
Service
good
of the
moments.
shower scene.
I
But it
highly-
was quite a shower scene.
I highly doubt that Capcom USA would be like, no, cut America.
Yeah.
We need more butt.
We need more, way
Yeah.
more butt.
Okay, so let's move on from there. Now I know longtime fans know that we did do a recast back during Chun-Li, but
we did.
that was a completely different type of movie. We are now casting a new Street Fighter film featuring all of the competitors from Street Fighter to the new challengers. So that's 16 people. We're just gonna go through.
Rapid fire.
We're just gonna go super quick, yay or nay us in the comments down below, so that we can get to our last little fun thing. So let's start with Sagat.
Forgot.
That's okay. I have Tony Jaa, who's an amazing Thai kickboxer.
All right.
He's a little short. He's 5'6", and Sagat's like a mountain of a man.
Yep.
And we'll get to mountains of men. But did you have somebody for Sagat?
Tony Jaa, as a matter of fact, and I think that they, again, CG him. He looks like 8 feet tall.
Sure.
Like, yeah, because
Just
he
gonna
is.
CG him some legs.
He is a badass.
He's amazing.
Yes.
Cammy.
Ooh.
Did anybody have Cammy?
I skipped Cammy.
Okay.
Margot Robbie.
I almost picked her, but I decided somebody because
good.
Cammy was one of Bison's dolls and could play both sides of the coin.
Yes.
Natalie Dormer.
Like
Also
that.
very good.
Mother Fletcher.
I like that a
Also
lot.
good.
Does anybody have Fei Long?
Nope, skipped Fei Long. What do you got?
Was playing around with Donnie Yen.
Donnie Yen.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He's film star.
Seemed like
Perfect.
Yeah.
This one I did just for fun. Does anybody have T-Hawk?
I don't.
The Rock. Anyway,
Okay.
T-Hawk, The Rock.
Yep.
Why not?
Not bad.
Dalsum. I'm pretty sure nobody has mine.
Ooh, all right.
All right, who's yours?
Yeah.
Mine is Vijut Jamval.
Me
who
too.
is- really?
No.
Okay.
Definitely not.
You
Well played,
legit.
though. Well played.
You legitimately got me, you son of a pig. He is the new age action hero of Bollywood. He's
Okay.
ripped, and he is essentially the main action hero of Bollywood cinema right now.
How are his dance moves?
Pretty solid.
Top 5? Okay.
Maybe 5 to, all time, maybe about a 6 or 7.
Okay, perfect.
But he's getting there.
Okay.
What does everybody else have?
I've got Dev Patel, Slumdog Millionaire, Lion Newsroom. I think he would crush it.
I think he's too young and too small. But
Again, I think
respect
size,
it.
like modern cinema, I feel like size is not an
You'll
issue.
make it happen?
Yes.
size doesn't
Okay.
matter. Who do you have?
Don't have one there.
Don't have on there? E Honda.
This is where I needed some help. So I literally went to the CG card. I want to CG The Rock and just some weird, like, I don't know who plays this dude. This is like, I was driving over here in traffic and I rolled down my window to this thing to strangers. Hey, have you seen that animated film? Who would play E Honda? And then they just drove off and were like, I was flipped off several times. I don't know, Mark.
Okay. I picked Taylor Wiley, who is he's a Hawaiian actor
Okay.
who was in Hawaii Five-0, a former sumo competitor. And that's sort of going along the lines, one of the few things that it would have in common with the live-action Street Fighter movie is because their E Honda was American.
Okay.
And that Hawaii is a part of America, so
Okay.
it's just not a white guy.
I feel like, not bad.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to go back and watch Bloodsport and pick one of those guys.
Possibly.
Yes.
What do we have for Blanca? Anybody?
Woo!
So I actually have two.
Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah. So one, just because green skin kind of begs for CGI, and Andy Serkis is the man.
All right.
Oh, that'd be-
That's
yeah.
not bad.
That kicks
Yeah,
ass.
that's actually really good.
Yeah.
What's your other one?
And then Dave Bautista.
Oh, Batista.
Oh, all right.
He doesn't
Guardians?
he doesn't have the flexibility though.
I could see
That's
that.
the
That's
thing.
true.
But I like that a lot.
I've got Jason Momoa from
Yeah.
Aquaman.
he is Aquaman and he's also
Khal
Khal
Drogo.
Drago.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Game
Khal
of Thrones.
Drogo from
Yeah,
Game of Thrones.
Emphasis.
I have a wrestler named Rusev. He is a Bulgarian brute. He's very agile, but also very big. He's got a lot of power behind his agility. Zangief, the Red Cyclone.
Well, going back to Game of Thrones, we've got half Thor.
Half Thor, Julius Bjornsson.
Yup.
The Mountain.
Absolutely.
No other person.
Yeah, that's done. Yeah, I can't do better than that.
Balrog.
Oh, I got Jamie Foxx.
Terry Crews.
Ooh.
Terry Crews is real good. That's real good.
And that's kind of a cheat. Alexis Torres, friend of the show, picked that the last time we did it.
Props, but that's real
Alright.
good. I went Jamie Foxx. What do you got?
Jamie Foxx would be good. David Harewood.
What is he
From-
in?
He's in Supergirl.
Oh, is he James?
No, Jean.
Oh, he's okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the show.
Okay.
So, good. I'm just happy that Martian Manhunter's on TV. Vega.
Oh, Vega was tough for me.
Okay.
Who do you have?
So I went back to Game of Thrones yet again.
Okay, do it.
Finn Jones.
I like Finn Jones.
Finn Jones is in Iron Fist.
Loras Tyrell, and he has Iron Fist.
Got it. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. That's not bad.
Diego Luna. We need a thick.
Oh man,
we need a thick
it.
accent.
I was on the fence and I almost went Diego Luna. I went Gael Garcia Bernal from Mozart in the Jungle, Motorcycle
like him.
Diaries, and he's also he's long and lean and kind of weird. I feel like he could get real weird with it.
That's
Get
good.
real weird.
Does anybody have DJ?
I skipped DJ. Help me.
DJ is professional wrestler Xavier Woods, who is a huge Street Fighter enthusiast and is almost on the level of a pro Capcom
Not
player.
bad.
Guile.
Awesome.
Oh, I got this one.
All right.
I'm
Yo.
just gonna shut it down. It's Channing Tatum, y'all.
I was trying to think of the
True.
most American actor.
Channing.
Channing Tatum's pretty good.
Absolutely. So this was more because I thought it was a funny mental image. Alexander Skarsgård. Guile.
That is a funny
Ridiculous.
image.
It's a very funny
He's my
image.
Ken.
Army Hammer is my
I
Guile.
went
Oh!
back and forth for a few.
That is
That's
real good. That is real good.
He's like the
I picked
anime
the mic back
big.
up. Yeah,
He's
uh-huh.
the anime big like
Dude's
stocky
like
chest.
6'5".
Let me just get my Ken out of the way because not a lot of people know it. Is a wrestler named Kenny Omega, also another huge Street Fighter fan who does the Hadouken as a part of his regular move repertoire. Go look him up.
That gets him in the door.
Very entertaining, and he's a really good Street Fighter player as well. Now, actual people.
I mean, I feel like this one's kind of an obvious one, but Charlie Hunnam.
I was thinking Charlie Hunnam for
Oh
somebody.
my God, I just want
Yeah.
Charlie Hunnam in everything. That is real good. I've got Skarsgård as well as Ken because I think he would just be a badass.
I like that.
Bison.
Okay, I'll go with Bison. Who did I have? I've got two. I'm going to start out with who I think is the home run. I think John Hamm would make a real good Bison. And I kind of think if
He's got
one-
the jaw.
He's got the jaw. He's got a good presence. He's a big dude. I also think Mad Mikkelsen
He was one of mine.
would be. Oh, he would get weird depending on what
Yeah.
you want out of your Bison.
He would be a little bit closer to the Raul Julia.
Yeah, a little bit.
But that's
you
fine.
kind of want to. I mean, just Shadow Law.
Shadow Law.
Shadow Law.
Game of Thrones.
Shadow Thrones.
Shadow Thrones.
Yep. What do you have?
So aside from Mads Mikkelsen, who was one of mine, I've also got Clive Russell.
It's Clive Russell from.
Blackfish in Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay. Lot of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I know,
A lot of Game of Thrones.
A lot of count
can
actors
fit
in
in
that
here.
show.
There's a guy who recently we found out it doesn't matter if it's a video game property or if it's a nerd property, he can knock it out of the park. Though he's kind of played this type of character before. Michael Fassbender.
Yep.
True.
I think he can knock
Yep,
that out.
that's real good.
Chun-Li.
I had to go. This was one of my biggest challenges. I went with her name's Gong Li. She's in Memoirs of a Geisha. So,
good pick.
she's a martial artist. Like, just she looks the part for lack of a better. I really struggled with this one because I want. It's again because that scene was so cool. I wanted to hit it out of the home run. I'm really interested to hear like what you had.
So Chyler Lee was my favorite pick there. She's another from Supergirl again.
Okay.
But she's the sister, and she's pretty kick-ass.
Pretty kick-ass.
Yeah.
So is Jamie Chung. Most recently, Big Hero 6, who's Go-Go Tamago. She plays Mulan on Once Upon a Time. She's kick-ass.
Awesome.
She's kick-ass. And last but not least, Ryu, our hero.
Donnie Yen. I know he's too old, but
He's too old.
I know,
Yeah.
but I feel like we could write that in, right? Like
I would say
Ken's a little cocky.
I would say
He's
Donnie Yen for Gen or for Goken.
I could see that. Yep.
Maybe.
Yeah.
As more of a master type.
Maybe even a
than,
Kuma, maybe.
Maybe he doesn't seem evil though.
But he could get
especially
evil.
after
Get
Chirrut.
evil. You're just
No,
shortchanging him. I
After
know.
Chirrut, I can't.
Just
too-
I may or may not have gotten
Pretty
choked
good.
up in that scene.
He's a nice
Just may or may not have.
I 100% wept in the theater. Is that what you want out
yeah,
of me?
that's
There you
what
go.
I want
It's like
out
a
of you.
child. It was heartbreaking.
Because we've all been there.
No.
Who do you have for Ryu?
So Tamo Pennicott.
Who was that?
So he's on.
Who is that?
So he's on Dollhouse, and he had a little stint on Supernatural.
And on Battlestar Galactica.
Yes.
So on board. That guy's awesome.
He's great. I
That
want him
guy's
in everything.
So good. Me too. I do too. Yes.
I went with a relative unknown in the States. His name is Hongo Kanata. He played the
he's
lead.
great.
He played especially I know for sure you don't know this
Yeah.
guy because he was the lead in both the Prince of Tennis live action movie and
One or two?
The first one.
Sorry.
The only one.
He hates
Shut
me
up.
so much.
And the
helping
Attack on
today.
Titan live action movie as well.
Okay.
And
Okay.
he's got the action background and he's got the nerd cred background. So I want to cast from these countries because that I think makes it worthwhile. And Ryu is such a character is such to where you can have a nobody make it something special.
I totally.
And I say
absolutely
nobody,
know.
but I mean somebody who's
but he's
unknown in the United
He's
States.
a cipher, right? Like again, that's the player character projecting kind of his personality on
Yeah.
it. Yep. 100%. Those are good. You guys crushed
We got
that.
a lot of fun. Let us know who you want to see in this movie using the hashtag VGMAnatomy or leave us a comment down below. Unfortunately, we are running out of time, so we're going to use our next little bit that we had for the next time we do a Street Fighter thing because there are more Street Fighter things.
Yes, there are.
Let's do final thoughts about Street Fighter 2, the animated movie.
Japan. It was so good. Like, thank you for choosing this one. Big shout out to Emma Fife. Thank you for suggesting this. It was a pleasant surprise to go back, and I was really excited to see that it held up better. Because I feel like the experiences we go back, I have fond memories, and when this show's been all about surfacing how terrible all those films that were beloved at one point, but this one definitely held up, and I had a really good time watching it. I want to play some Street Fighter again, so the movie held up and worked.
Yeah, this was. I mean, I really enjoyed revisiting how '90s this movie was.
That is a
how
90s
thoroughly
ass
enjoyable-
90s
The
my
90s
God.
is.
Just every single
Yep.
second, every detail, just screaming
I
90s.
need more
and
Alice in
it was a
Chains
lot of fun.
and everything.
A lot of fun.
You think Alice in Chains played his wedding? Because they definitely did get hitched. Like, there's no way they weren't doing like a dirt. They played dirt as the bride came out, right?
No.
Or
I mean, King can afford it. He's
Yeah,
got dad money.
Yep.
crushing
Yep.
it.
Yeah. I mean, this hammers home why Street Fighter is one of my favorite gaming franchises. This is what really brought me into going, hey, gaming's pretty fun. Street Fighter, awesome. Nailed it. I love it. I really enjoy this movie. And like, as you mentioned, I just want to play Street Fighter. I have it on PS3. I have it on PS4. I have a Superboy, which is a portable Super Nintendo where I can play Street Fighter on the go. It's out of batteries, or I would have brought it tonight. Real upset. But yes.
I'm just playing during your picks. I'm
No,
like,
dude,
oh, it's so
I
good. You
I
guys
was
are-
gonna play it for the opening. I was gonna be like with the audio on, just so that you can Hadouken. So now we did give a different verdict for the Street Fighter franchise back at Chun-Li, but for this, do you give it a game over or an extra life? Stacey, let's start with you.
I keep going. These were fun. This was
Yes,
fun.
well
This was a
said.
good time.
Yeah, enthusiastic, if conditional, thumbs up. They stay, like, this was, like, it had a lot of edges. It swore, and for whatever reason, that shower scene went on too long, and whatever, like, keep it weird, keep Street Fighter weird, and I am on board.
Yep.
If they play
Make Street
safe,
Fighter weird again.
studio nonsense, I'm over it, but, like, let's stay weird, and I'm in.
Now, who wants
I
to
am
go
in.
home and who wants to come with me? Yeah,
USSR.
USSR.
Japan. I'm just gonna do my
Japan.
animation sequence in the background, like just.
Why not? Of course, I give Extra Life. I love the Street Fighter franchise. I would love to see this. Maybe not a Dragon Ball Evolution style American remake. Let's figure it out. Maybe we go animation again. Please do us a favor.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody. Remember, next week we're going to be covering Resident Evil, the final chapter. I was just going to call it Resident Evil, the last one. Until
It's
then,
over.
All right.
thank God it's over. Where can the folks find you until then?
You can find me if you want to take a ride on the Kenny Coaster. I'm at P to the Dees at Twitter. Please tweet at me. I want to hear who you want to play what.
Find me on Twitter and Instagram at Stacey Shuttles, or all over the web at Nerds Doing Stuff.
And you can find me on Twitter at Mark Donica. Find all of us here at the Popcorn Talk. If you want to play Street Fighter with me, my PSN name is the_idjit. Don't ask. I've been trying to change it for years. I don't like PSN. You can't do it. Anyway, thank you for joining this episode of Video Game Movie Anatomy. We will see you in the apocalypse.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com.
I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.